Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Foolish Fish Esoteric News with your weekly updates on the worlds of esoteric and occult book publishing and arts and events and paraphernalia. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much to miskatonicbooks.com for sponsoring the show as every week. And I just want to give you a quick look at what's going on at Miskatonic Books before we get started with the news per se. But let me tell you that this is news in itself, folks. I've told you a few times already about oracular mediumship, Mandy Wild's new course starting on Miskatonic Books. I've reached out to Mandy and she explained to me that actually if you enroll on the course, it doesn't matter when you start, you will always get one lesson per week, so that is nicely spread out for you. You can start today, you can start next week, you can start next month, you can start next year. It doesn't matter when you start, you will always get those lessons one after the other in a nicely spaced manner, and also you are going to get support. Mandy is going to be supporting this on the very long term, so it doesn't matter when you start, you can always reach out to Mandy and be a part of her support group, which is very, very cool. And there's this other thing, folks, this Shadows, Supernatural Beings in Southeast Asian Folklore by Hemant Singh. I had no idea about this book, and occasionally I'll go and visit the miskatonicbooks.com website to see what's going on there, and I just spotted this one today, Shadows, Supernatural Beings in Southeastern Folklore. It just looks so interesting, and there are a couple of shots of the actual book down here, giving us a little idea of what to expect on the inside. And it looks pretty cool to me. Just thought I'd point that particular one out to you. But just generally, go and check out the website. There's so much great stuff over there. A perfect sponsor for this particular show on the channel. I think you guys are going to particularly like this. I've just received Offering to Isis. I'm really looking forward to delving into it. I have to read She of the Night first. I'm going to review that next week, and then it'll be Offering to Isis immediately after that. Just a little update. Okay, folks, Tubelo's Forge is shipping. If you have put in a pre-order through Anathema Publishing for Tubelo's Forge, then you can look forward to your copy arriving with you very soon. And this is excellent news. It's not a weekly event when Anathema Publishing releases a new book. So this is this is a very, very big event, very, very exciting. Shani Oates's no doubt to become seminal work on the religion of Robert Cochrane. The concept of traditional craft and the clan of Tubelo. There we go. From the perspective of the maiden matriarch of that I'm not sure what to call them, clan. Okay, magical group certainly. I'm not sure if they call themselves a coven, but very, very exciting stuff. Very very cool. And the artisanal edition, you can probably expect a couple more months, I would imagine, but very, very nice to see that beautiful looking standard edition. Some deluxe editions wish that they were as gorgeous as this standard edition. My goodness. So this standard edition has started shipping. Good. Then we've got news from Travis Lawrence, who has a new book covering some of his works out called The Garden. You may recognize Travis Lawrence from his beautiful Pillars Oracle deck. Very, very beautiful cards made in a wood block print style. I'm not sure if it's wood or vinyl that he's using, but it's utterly gorgeous. And then the Infinite Arcana also, once again, you might recognize that style. I think he illustrated the front of one of Ike Baker's book, if memory serves correctly. And so this is his new little book, and it looks lovely, doesn't it? That's a close-up of the cover, and yeah, just his works on the inside with some accompanying text. It looks very lovely. So that is, let me just see, 35 hand-carved and individually painted relief prints, and 172 pages in total. Okay, so that's nice. So that's available directly through Travis Lawrence's own website, which is infinityprints.com. I know that Anathema Publishing have carried at least his cards in the past. It's not impossible that they might carry this little book as well. Don't quote me on that, but it might be worth checking out if you live in Canada. Okay, and then the Folio Society have made very lovely, how to say, this is to be expected from this Folio Society, for it to be a lovely edition of Circe. So Circe is Madeline Miller's take on the story of Circe, the witch Circe. And so this is it's not a sequel, it's just a book in the same vein as the Song of Achilles, which was very, very popular as well. And naturally, as with all Folio Society books, you get gorgeous illustrations on the inside, so that's very, very nice. Let me just see if I can show you some more of those illustrations. Yeah, it looks very lovely. So if you know Circe already, this is going to be likely the ultimate edition, the beautiful, beautiful edition. Unfortunately, Folio Society stopped shipping to Poland during the pandemic and never bothered to update that. So I can't get any Folio Societies where I am. Well, saves on my pocket. Good. And then Elsbeth Barthold from Hadean Press reached out to me, pointing this one out. Women of the Fairy Tale Resistance, the Forgotten Founding Mothers of the Fairy Tale and the Stories They Spun. Fabulous French fairy tales and the equally dramatic life stories of their authors shine in this fascinating book by novelist Harrington, Encircling Flight. The 7 women featured all lived and wrote in 1690s France during the reign of the Sun King Louis XIV. These highly educated women were members of salons, discussion groups that were their only venue for sharing social commentary on the status of women, but only in ways that would not explicitly run afoul of the laws prohibiting criticism of the crown or the patriarchy. Telling and writing fairy tales became a coded way to offer such commentaries surreptitiously. Harrington says, each chapter of the book showcases one salon member via an informative biography and several of her fairy tales translated into English. Many of the fairy tales are precursors to works that would later appear in collections by Perrault and the Brothers Grimm, without attribution to the women who thought them up. So that sounds kind of interesting to me, and it's available, of course, through Amazon if you don't have access to an English-speaking local bookstore, which, once again, I really encourage you to support, please, if you have the ability to. And for those of you who are going to be using Amazon anyway, because of your situation, because of where you live maybe, because of whatever reason, then the links that you'll find down in the description are associate links, which give me a small commission if you use them to reach the Amazon store and then make a purchase when you're there. I get a small, like 3 to 4% little commission No extra charge to you. It's just that Amazon, instead of keeping all the profits, gives a little profit to me that I can then spend with an independent publisher. There we go. So you can do good even when you're buying through Amazon. There we go. Make you feel good about yourself. Good. And then the next book that I've spotted on Amazon is Golden Dawn Rituals. Naturally, this is the sequel, I'm going to say, to Chick and Tabitha Cicero's previous book, Golden Dawn Magic. They kind of are responsible for the modern day Golden Dawn, the modern day incarnation of the Golden Dawn, and their previous books, all of them, in fact, they had a self-initiation into the Golden Dawn, stuff like that. Very, very cool stuff. And so this is specifically Golden Dawn Rituals. Comprehensive book guides you through dozens of rituals that apply the skills of the Golden Dawn magic. Teach you group rituals for the outer and inner orders, and solo rituals for the adept. Perform healing rituals, seasonal rituals, and rites of passage. Learn how to consecrate tools, perform invocations, and even create your own Golden Dawn rituals. So this is not out quite yet, but it's already in the Llewellyn catalogue. And thank you, Marcus, very much for sending that over to me. That will be released August 8th, so not very long to wait now. There we go. There we are. And then what else do we have? Shamanism, the Timeless Religion, from a brilliant young Harvard-trained anthropologist and contributor to The New Yorker, comes a fascinating investigation into the spiritual practice of shamanism, from its beginnings to the present moment, for readers disaffected with organized religion who seek a more personal approach to spirituality. Yes, there are some problematic aspects to just even the word shamanism or shamanism, but I'm always interested in reading new perspectives, because I feel like this is an appropriated word, but not necessarily an appropriated practice. I think this is a natural practice that comes naturally to human beings who are of a particular predisposition, and hopefully that's actually what's being talked about over here. I think it probably is. So traveling from Indonesia to the Colombian Amazon, living with shamans and observing music, drug use, and indigenous curing ceremonies, anthropologist Manveer Singh journeys into one of the most mysterious religious traditions. Fundamentally, shamans are specialists who use altered states to engage with unseen realms and provide services like healing and divination. As Singh shows, shamanism's appeal stems from its psychological resonance. Its essence is spiritual transformation. A specialist uses initiations, deprivations, and non-ordinary states to seemingly become a different kind of human, one possessed of powers to cure, prophecy, and otherwise tame life's uncertainties. And I think that if magic in general isn't this, then I don't know what it is. But this also applies to so many just spiritual practices in general, right? It's probably time we found a better word for it, a not appropriated word for it, but shamanism certainly is a beautiful example of this type of system. Okay, all right, so this does look like a very interesting book to me. All right, let's move on to Unveiling the Green, a poignant guide exploring how to connect with the spiritual essences of plants in order to rebuild the health and happiness of the planet and humankind. This came out reasonably recently, a couple of weeks ago, and I'm always interested in plant magic that accepts that plants have a particular type of consciousness, that can be interacted with, right? I'm all for this. Using a blend of scientific research and esoteric wisdom, Sian Sibley invites readers to reevaluate their relationship with nature, the green, exploring why an enduring connection with the natural world is essential for human health and psychology, as well as for our continued existence on the planet. Based on Sibley's unique magical system and her own relationship with her green friends, Unveiling the Green presents a series of meditative and psychic practices that will allow readers to meet plant spirits as they truly are. Yeah, it sounds perfect to me. Sounds really, really cool. Let's see, 200 pages, and I don't see a publisher, so this could very well be a self-published work. But it just sounds very. Oh, it's Aeon Press, of course. It's Aeon Press. Very nice. I'm a fan of what Aeon Press do. Yeah, this is good. Yeah. All right, let's move on to. Oh, Noah, thank you so much for pointing this one out. So the introduction to Kabbalah. Shomer Emunim. 2.5 stars, which is because clearly somebody didn't like it very much. Or we'll go and check out the reviews down below. But deplorable quality, borderline unusable as a result. All right, so this is somebody a little bit like me who would not be very happy with this, but this is not a reflection on the text. And the text can, it seems, be acquired in Kindle form for a couple of pennies less than the hardcover edition. Yeah, if you're paying $50 for a hardcover, that is not acceptable. I fully agree with that. That is not to, as I say, to detract from the text itself. So let's see, of the few genuine introductions to Kabbalah, Shomer Emunim stands out prominently for its clarity, brevity, and accessibility. Penned in the late 1720s by the master Italian Kabbalist Rabbi Joseph Ergas, its virtues have been extolled by Kabbalists of note ever since. Shomer Emunim, here we go, I got it wrong, excuse me, powerfully responds to those who claim Kabbalah was fabricated. It also explains Kabbalists' concepts, simply dispelling the illegitimate views of those encouraging blasphemous religious compromise by distorting those concepts. The original Shomer Emunim Hebrew text, together with its complete facing page, English translation and commentary, are presented in an innovative and easily digestible format. That sounds like essential reading for anyone interested in Kabbalah, specifically from a Jewish perspective, right? From a mystic Jewish perspective, the Lurianic Kabbalah. So that sounds very cool to me. A couple of tarot decks, folks. Tarot decks and oracle decks. And the first one that I wanted to point out is this one. It's called the Medieval Feathers Tarot. And I quite like the style. I think that this kind of aged look is quite nice. This is very visibly a modern picture, but very much in the medieval style. I moderately like the feathers on each picture, although it's kind of integrated in a nice way. For me, this is kind of a 7 out of 10 or a 6.5 out of 10, which is a very high score. What I'm going to say is that for me, as a Marseille style deck with just simply numbered pips, it's pretty and may appeal to some. Let me put it that way. I kind of like the white border around the aged interior yeah, I think that was a good call. I think that's quite nice in terms of design. Yeah, generally, I think it's quite nice. I don't think I would buy it myself, but I think that some of you might actually appreciate this. I think for me, if I was buying a Marseille type deck this week, I would be getting the Matronua Tarot, which I've already featured, which has got just a few days left, a few hours left actually at the time of recording, to back it. I have actually backed it. Yeah, you can see manage your pledge over here. I couldn't help myself in the end. It's just too beautiful. And I don't have any Marseille style tarots. So yeah, sure. The Matronua Tarot is definitely my choice. This is the Queen of Swords from the Matronua, and it's just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And I don't have any of the qualms with it that I have with that Medieval Feathers Tarot, which is much cheaper, by the way. No, not much cheaper. What am I talking about? It's a little bit cheaper. It's so the Matronua is €50. Versus £30 if you're buying on Amazon, but I've left links to both of those down below. Then you got the Star Spinner Tarot, which I like this, folks. So you know how much I appreciate Art Nouveau, and there are several Art Nouveau decks out there, but this to me is the only one that I've found so far that isn't just Alphonse Mucha artwork repurposed, or that isn't kind of a that isn't more or less Art Nouveau. This actually feels like, in fact, Art Nouveau. I don't know how to put it, because it is, there is definitely a modern style to this, but I think that it captures the spirit, of Art Nouveau. I don't know how to explain. I have seen so many other Art Nouveau style decks. This to me is the first one that I've seen where I'm thinking, that is actually Art Nouveau. And the fact that it's inclusive, diverse, LGBTQ deck makes it a perfect pick for this Pride Month, and shout out to all my LGBTQ plus friends out there who might be looking for a nice present for themselves this month. Look at this artwork, folks. I think that, I don't know, it also reminds me a little bit of Promethea, which also, I guess, captures a little bit of that Art Nouveau style. You know, Promethea, the wonderful introduction to magic by Alan Moore in graphic novel style. It's very similar in style. I like this. Yeah, I think it's very cool. There we are. And then this is one that I've literally just got. I received this one a couple of days ago, and I've been using it actively with clients who call me for tarot reads. I've been using it to clarify cards, and I love it. Absolutely love it. I made a little post on my Discord and on Facebook just to say that it's not particularly mean, right? There are 5 kind of slightly on the more negative side cards out of 52, but the little booklet actually encourages you to use reversals, and that makes absolute sense. I have been using it in that way, and it's perfect, in my opinion. It's perfect because the card stock is wonderful. The artwork is glorious, as you can see. I know that there is a tarot deck that is equivalent. I Not seeing it here, but all the animals in that tarot are anthropomorphized, and to me that doesn't quite work, because you're giving them personalities, these animals, instead of just letting their essence be what they are, So these oracle cards just show you the animal in an artistic setting, and that is classic, it's timeless, it's beautiful. And the cards themselves, as long as you're using reversals as well, this or not this, is just so helpful, so helpful with the read. My first read, I literally said, I just received this, I'm not sure how it's going to work, shall we try? And my client very kindly said, yes, sure, let's try. And it was so intuitive, so easy to use. There we go. That's Woodland Wardens. Strong recommendation for the price. My goodness, this is gold, folks. This is value for money for sure. All right, Llewellyn Con is underway. It started just yesterday at the time of recording, but it'll be going on for 10 days. 40 authors every year. It's just a lot of fun, lots and lots of very cool names appearing. You've got Wendy Mata over here, you've got Teresa Chung, you've got, let me see, Lilith Dorsey, you've got Tiffany Lazick, who's Psychopomps for the Modern Times I reviewed just a few days ago. You've got lots and lots of very, very cool names that you probably recognize. You've got Ike Baker, you've got Ivo Dominguez Jr., like all of these very, very cool people that you can just go and see for free. Just head over to llewellyn.com. And you'll find links to, you'll find the link down below. You can just click on that. But if you go to llewellyn.com, oh yeah, Nikki Wardwell Sleeth there as well. Lucid Dreaming. Very, very nice stuff on a daily basis. So enjoy that for sure. And then what else? Cross Crow Books have put out a call for submissions. Do you practice a unique method of divination? Unique method of divination. If so, consider contributing to our next anthology. And you can drop them a note to learn more at crosscrowbooks.com, info@crosscrowbooks.com. You can go and check that link to the Facebook post that you can see on the screen right now down below as well. And then what else? There's an interesting event by Sarah Janes, who is a dreams specialist. I reviewed her book, Waters of Mnemosyne, or it might be Mnemosyne's Waters, a year or so ago. A very, very nice book on dream incubation in the Western tradition. And this is from an Egyptian perspective. It's an online workshop starting on Wednesday, 18th of June. The ancient Egyptian Ka, creative energy body, and the Ba, eternal soul, dwell in the Ib, in the heart. What happens when we dream from the heart? Join me for this 2-hour workshop in which we will practice exercises to cultivate our personal Ka energy and experiment with heart-driven dreaming. This workshop will involve trance states, hypnotic induction with sistrum, breathing exercises, and dream incubation, all for £30. It sounds like a very good deal. So you can go and check that out on Facebook, or check out also the tickets over at themysteries.org. Let me just copy the link to that over here, and I'll make sure that I leave that in the description down below as well. Jesse Hathaway is relaunching his Foundations of Quimbanda, which had been so popular 5 years ago, and you now have an opportunity to join that, folks. That is starting in on Mondays in August and early September of 2025. And yeah, this was extremely popular. People who have taken it really strongly recommend this course. So it sounds kind of exciting to me. I know that 5 years ago, everyone was kind of talking about Quimbanda, and it seems like Jesse's course may very well have had a lot to do with it. So let's see. Roots and Cosmovision, exploring the histories and worldview of Quimbanda. The Devil and the Crossroads, exploring the various manifestation of Exu, that's probably the wrong pronunciation, in Quimbanda, being the male retinue of ancestral messengers and familiar spirits. A Rose for the Queen of Hell, exploring the various manifestations of Pombajira in Quimbanda, being the female retinue of ancestral messengers and familiar spirits. Landmarks of the practice and variations and lineages, exploring the various hallmarks of what is called Quimbanda, the shape of ceremony and ritual, the offerings and technologies on a broad level, a closer examination of possession, the 7 kingdoms in overview, as well as how different lineages of Quimbanda view the cult and their specific contexts, etc., etc. Lots and lots of very, very cool stuff. $321 for your 6-week class series, starting in August 2025. And once again, I will leave a link to the place where you can actually purchase the class. It seems like if you get it quite soon, you can get a significant discount. That is a big discount. Definitely worth looking into, folks. So that is nice. Okay, and I'll let you read all the blurb in your own time. And then Dr. Alexander Cummins has got a 40% off sale. So once again, if you've been checking out Alexander Cummins's classes and courses, do go over to his website and check out all of that is on special sale until the end of the month. It's all so good. It's all so good, from the Grimorium Verum Foundations to the Heptameron and Arbitel classes. Such good stuff, folks. The Geomancy Foundation, he is one of the preeminent specialists in geomancy. Of course, everybody knows his affinity with ravens and raven magic and their preponderance in magic, in traditional magic, and you can see how much great stuff there is. So go and check all of that out naturally while those prices are so low. And then finally, a message from Occulture, which is, I can't remember when it's happening, but it's happening in Berlin every year. And this year it is happening in... let me just click on About, and I'll come back to talk about Peter Mark Adams in a second, because that's kind of important. 25th of October. 23rd to 26th of October, excuse me. I believe I've talked about that in the past. But Peter Mark Adams, as you know, is one of my great favorites, and he is going to be there talking about ritual and epiphany in the mysteries of Mithras. By the way, if you haven't put in your pre-order with Theon Publishing for Peter Mark Adams's upcoming book on the mysteries of Mithras, then definitely go and do that. I'm just very, very excited to see that he's going to be at the Occulture gathering in October to talk about all of that, as will many other occultists, no doubt. It's always a very interesting experience, that Occulture conference. There we go, folks. That's what I've got for you for today. I hope you enjoyed the news as every week. Thank you so much for coming back week after week to check out all these lovely things that I've got to show you. I do get excited. I can't help myself. It's just so cool. We live in how to say, in a golden age of publication, and I feel so grateful for that. And sometimes when I look at the news, and my heart goes out to you folks, you know who you are. Yeah, so having a little moment to look at beautiful books and cards and events that people have poured their hearts into, it brightens my day a little bit, and I hope it brightens yours as well. Just a little moment to be thinking about something else. So yeah, just sending out all the vibes of courage that I can, you know, for what that's worth. But yeah, I've got a lot of admiration for what I'm for the people who are standing up to the bullying, and yeah, well done. I admire you guys. You just stay safe, okay? Please look after yourselves. That's it from me. Do take care of yourselves, folks. Don't forget that if you'd like to have a one-to-one conversation with me, that's always open. You'll find links to that down below. As I say, the prices will be going up, I would imagine, towards the end of this month, possibly the end of the next month. But yeah, I'll need to look at it a little bit further into what's sustainable to keep the prices as low as possible, but still keep me alive. So there we are. Yeah, take care of yourselves, folks. See you very soon with another video. Bye bye.